Morning is a new beginning, a fresh opportunity that opens up before us. Upon waking, how many times have you felt overwhelmed by the battles of the day ahead? Challenges, worries, uncertainties. The truth is that each day brings its own struggle, and if we are not prepared, we may feel lost. It is at this moment that trust in God becomes a fundamental pillar. Trusting in God this morning is the first step to receiving the strength needed to face any battle. Acknowledging God's presence as we start the day is essential. Psalm 27:1 reminds us, "The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear?" This statement is powerful. When we understand that God is our light, we can turn away from the darkness of fear and insecurity. He is not just a spectator in our lives. He is present, ready to guide and protect us. This awareness brings peace and gives us the courage to face any challenge that may arise. Imagine starting your morning with this certainty. As you open your eyes, you remember that God is with you, offering shelter and security. This divine protection is a fortress amid storms. When difficulties arise, we need not fear. In Romans 8:31, the question is clear. If God is for us, who can be against us? This truth should resonate in our hearts, reminding us that we are not alone in our battles. The strength that comes from God is sufficient to sustain us. Often, we see examples of people who trusted in God during their struggles. Think of David facing Goliath. David's confidence was not in his abilities, but in the certainty that God was by his side. He declared, "You come against me with sword, spear, and javelin, but I come against you in the name of the Lord Almighty." This declaration was an act of faith that resulted in victory. Trusting God gave him the strength to challenge what seemed impossible. That same strength is available to us. The unknown can be terrifying, but trust in God allows us to face the future with hope. As you wake up, take a deep breath and remember that, regardless of what the day brings, you can rely on the strength that comes from above. The practice of daily faith is not just about praying or reading the Bible, but about living in alignment with God's will. This means we must set boundaries against fear, insecurity, and doubt. When we seek wisdom in our decisions, each step becomes firmer and each battle more manageable. In the morning, take time to connect with God. Meditate on verses like Isaiah 41:10, where he tells us, "Do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you, and uphold you with my righteous right hand." These reminders are like anchors that keep us steady amid the waves of daily life. When we internalize these promises, trust becomes an intrinsic part of who we are. The struggle may be intense, but God's strength is greater. When difficulties arise, remember that you do not have to face everything alone. Embracing the divine presence brings comfort. It is like having a loyal friend by your side, ready to help carry the weight. This trust gives us the courage to take a step forward, even when everything seems to be crumbling around us. And if you feel weak or incapable, remember what the Corinthians 12:9 says, "My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness." This is a powerful promise. God's strength manifests in our moments of weakness. By acknowledging our limitations, we make room for divine strength to flow into our lives. The battle does not need to be faced with our own bravery. but with the confidence that God sustains us. Each morning is a new opportunity to renew that trust. How about starting today? Instead of being carried away by fear or anxiety, choose to believe. Choose to trust in God, who is the source of strength in times of battle. This practice is not just an act of faith, but a lifestyle that transforms. By holding on to this truth, you prepare yourself to face any challenge that the day presents. Tomorrow, upon waking, remember that trust in God is your most powerful weapon. Do not underestimate the strength that comes from this trust. What may seem like an insurmountable battle can be overcome with divine help. It is time to rise up and face challenges with the certainty that regardless of what happens, you have a powerful ally by your side. The strength you seek is already available. Trust in God and watch the mountains move. The morning brings with it a new opportunity to connect with God. As you open your eyes, consider that each day is an invitation to experience the strength He offers. Acknowledging God's presence first thing in the morning can transform your perspective on what lies ahead. Imagine starting the day with prayer, surrendering your worries to Him. This is not just a ritual. It is an act of surrender that renews the mind and spirit. By doing this, you are not only preparing to face battles, but also strengthening yourself with the certainty that you are not alone. Divine protection is a recurring theme in Scripture. Psalm 91 speaks of how God is our refuge and fortress. This truth can become a personal mantra. When facing challenges, remember that you are enveloped by a mantle of protection. Insecurity may try to invade your mind, but by trusting in God, you create a barrier against those negative thoughts. It is like having an invisible shield that prevents fear and doubt from taking root. In practice, this may mean reciting verses that speak of God's protection, such as Isaiah 41:10. Do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. The strength that comes from faith is tangible. Think of a moment when you felt overwhelmed. The feeling of helplessness can be paralyzing, but it is precisely at this point that trust in God becomes a source of strength. Instead of fighting alone, you can surrender to Him. What may seem like an unbearable weight can be light when you allow Him to carry that burden. It is interesting to note how communication with God can manifest in our daily decisions. When we align ourselves with divine will, choices become clearer. This does not mean there will be no difficulties, but by seeking wisdom in prayer, options become illuminated. A practical example: you may be facing a difficult decision at work. By praying and asking for guidance, not only do you calm down, but you may also receive insights that previously seemed hidden. This connection with God brings a new perspective that strengthens confidence in each step taken. The battle we face is often not just external, but internal. The voices that echo in our minds, telling us we are not capable or that the path is too difficult, can be suffocating. However, by remembering that God is by your side, you can silence those voices. It is a daily exercise. Each morning, as you rise, declare your trust. Affirm that you are strong, not on your own, but by the strength that God provides. This practice not only changes your day, but also alters the way you face the challenges that arise. In moments of uncertainty, we return to divine protection. Life is full of surprises, and it is easy to be carried away by the fear of the unknown. But trust in God reminds us that He already knows the future. When you surrender to Him, you are placing your security in someone who is unchanging and who never fails. This brings a peace that surpasses human understanding. You may wake up anxious, but by focusing on God's presence, that anxiety dissipates. The strength you desire to face what lies ahead comes from this peace. In daily life, it is easy to forget this truth. There are moments when routine feels overwhelming and battles pile up. But think about how small practices can serve as reminders that God is present. A verse stuck on the fridge, a song about God's faithfulness playing on the radio, or even a moment of silence to pray can be ways to revive that trust. These small actions build a deeper relationship with God and remind us that He is our strength. In fact, trust in God is not an isolated event, but a journey. Each morning is a new chance to strengthen that relationship. Life can be unpredictable, but trust in God brings a solid foundation. When you rise in the morning, remember that this strength is not just for you, but can also be a light for others. By demonstrating faith in the midst of difficulties, you become an example of how trusting in God can transform battles into victories. Finally, do not underestimate the power of trust. With each new day, the strength you seek is already within your reach. Trust in God this morning and observe how, even in the most challenging battles, you will find courage and determination. He is here, ready to give you the strength necessary to face everything that lies ahead. Believe, rise up, and face your battles with the certainty that God's protection and strength are with you. Rising in the morning can be a daily ritual, but how about transforming it into a moment of deep connection with God? The first thing to do upon opening your eyes is to recognize His presence. Instead of allowing the day's worries to enter your mind, take a deep breath and feel the divine light illuminating your path. Psalm 27:1 reminds us that the Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? This statement can change the way you face any battle that arises. Imagine yourself facing a challenge at work or a difficult conversation you need to have. Before entering that situation, pause for a moment. Pray, even if it is a brief supplication. Ask God to give you the strength and wisdom to deal with what is to come. This practice not only aligns your mind with divine will, but also creates a space of protection where insecurity cannot enter. When you feel secure in God's presence, uncertainties become easier to face. In fact, the protection and spiritual security that God offers are a refuge. It is like an invisible shield that surrounds us in times of turbulence. Remember that fear is not a place where we should dwell. Jesus Himself encourages us not to fear, for He is with us every step of the way. When you feel intimidated, remember Isaiah 41:10. Fear not, for I am with you. Be not dismayed, for I am your God. This promise brings immense comfort, allowing you to face any battle with confidence. Living according to God's will requires conscious effort. Throughout the day, make small adjustments. Before making decisions, ask yourself, is this in alignment with what God desires for me? Establishing spiritual boundaries is crucial. If doubt or fear arises, remember that you have the power to choose your reactions. Instead of being swept away by emotions, Seek the wisdom that comes from Him. Prayer should not be an isolated event. It should flow throughout your routine. Talk to God while doing your daily tasks, while driving, or even while having a cup of coffee. The strength you seek is already available, but it requires action. Create a habit of thanking God for the small victories. Each time you face an obstacle, take a moment to acknowledge His hand in your life. This not only strengthens your faith, but also gives you a new perspective on difficulties. Instead of seeing them as barriers, begin to view them as opportunities for growth. When you trust in God, battles become less daunting. You become more resilient, more capable of handling pressure. The words of Philippians 4:13 resonate. I can do all things through Him who strengthens me. This strength is not just physical, it is emotional and spiritual. Each morning, upon waking, remember this verse and declare it. This simple action can change your entire day. Practice surrender. When you feel overwhelmed, take a pause and hand your worries over to God. Visualize each problem being placed in His hands. This practice is not only liberating, but also transforms the way you approach challenging situations. Instead of feeling trapped, you will feel light and free to act. And at the end of the day, do not forget to reflect. How did you face your struggles? Where did you see God's hand? This self-assessment is vital. It not only reinforces your confidence, but also prepares your heart for the next day. Remember that each dawn brings new opportunities, and God is always by your side, ready to offer the strength you need. Trusting God is not just a catchphrase, it is a way of life. It means recognizing His presence in every aspect of your day. When you live this way, the battles that once seemed insurmountable become just another chapter in your story. With God always by your side, guiding your steps. Today, upon waking, make this commitment. Trust in God this morning and receive the strength needed against every battle that presents itself. His presence is your refuge, your light, and your guide. Do not underestimate the power of this trust. It can transform your life. Trust in God this morning and receive strength against every battle.